Hello, dear partners of Courtesy Logistics. Today, I want to demonstrate three important things. One, if you get to a zone, how do you understand if there are other cars there? Two, if you get three bookings in one, how do you manage them? And three, if you're not seeing the trip pop up on your screen, what to expect and how do you refresh to get them up? So the first one I'm going to show you now is if you are getting into a zone when driving back, immediately you drop yourself and you immediately land on that zone. You simply try and get your app. You look at where your address is, like you can see here. Sorry. You see your address here. This actually shows the location where you currently are. So when you double tap on that, it's going to open a map, and on that map you will see the cars that are already available in the location you just arrived in. You'll be able to tell that three cars are there already. So you have to take note that these three cars may possibly leave before you. Okay, that will help you. If you go to the zone, you would also see the zones outlined: Tokai, Stickland, Airport, Paden Island. You would see exactly in Tokai or Stickland or wherever you've landed how many cars are there, and that can also help you. Now, this is very important because I want you to note that it is not a matter of you trying to know who comes first, who comes last. At least you can see how many people are already lined up there from the map point of view and from the zone point of view. Okay, so right now let's look at how, if you have three jobs or two booking in one car, how does it work? All right. So I'm going to request now for two bookings in one, and I'm going to accept it as normal. Now, take note. Wonderful. Tosin. How many bookings are here now? Okay, my apologies on that. We were a little bit confused. So three bookings came on my phone and I accepted. And this is where when I clicked on start job, I first had to click on start job, and all of these bookings, you can see this is actually 5 people in one car. 5 people going to the same direction in one car. Now, if you look here on this side, this is where you actually trigger the trips to pick up that passenger is on board. So let's assume that the first booking area says Mr. Dieter, and the second person, Miss Magwabene. Let's assume that the first person entered my car. I will have to tap here. First of all, I have to say, because once I accept the booking, by tapping here, there will be a start trip, because it's 3 trips. You will not see any button here that says start. You will see it here, that start. Now, once you click start, all of them will change to driver at Pickcoin, meaning it's asking you a question: is driver on Pickcoin, pickup point? Is driver at pickup point? Is driver at pickup point? So once you get to the first person, but because you're already on the dealership, you just have to tap here, driver at pickup point. You see there? It's changed to passenger on board, meaning that it's not asking you for Mr. Dieter, is a passenger on board. Tell Miss Mogwabe that driver is at pickup. By tapping this button, Miss Mogwabane knows that you are outside. The third person is Miss Darling. You are telling Miss Darling that you are at pickup. You tap it again. It now changes to passenger on board, meaning that an SMS has told Miss Darling that you are at pickup. You also have more. Let's assume that those were the 3 people you are fetching, right? Now, they got SMSs, they walk out of the dealership, or you walked into the dealership, you called their name, and you got them all 3 on board. You have to say, okay, Mr. Dita is on board. You tap here, passenger on board. Take note, guys. If you do not press passenger on board and you just start driving by maybe tapping on this and navigating right away, the booking is not going to calculate anything. At the end of the day, you will get either 25 Rand or 0 Rand. So once Mr. Dita enters your car, you press POB, passenger on board. Mr. Dita goes at the bottom. Now, the next person comes to the top. Miss Magubane also enters your car. You press passenger on board. You must press it. If you don't press it, it's not going to. If you don't press it, it's not going to charge the client. Miss Darling also entered your car. You press it. Mr. Carlos entered your car. You press it, passenger on board. Jacko entered your car. You press passenger on board. Depending on how many bookings you have, you may have just 2 passengers, you may have 3 people, you may have even 4 people. It doesn't matter, except it's only 1 person. Then you can do the normal booking, accept, and passenger on board and everything that you have to do up here. So now, if you look here now, all of them are in your car. That's why the color has turned to this pale orange kind of a color. Now, at the button here says done. So it's now understanding clearly that you have the passengers and you are driving off now. Every passenger is on board. If you're starting to drop the first person, you have to now click on the first person's card here, right here. Tap it. It opens up. Mr. Dita is going to Bofors Circle Epping. You know exactly where that is. If you don't know, you tap on your navigator. It opens on Waze. You wait for it to load, and then Waze will tell you it's time for us to go.
Let's take Sandown Road, Sandown, Cape Town, and N7 to Cape Town, N7 South.
Great stuff. Now you are navigating to Mr. Dita's address. Once you arrive at Mr. Dita's, you go back. You shut down Waze. Remember, you were dropping who? Mr. Dita. So you go back, and then you come, Mr. Dita, I'm done with you. You press done here. Don't press this one. This one is to press done on all of them at the same time. If you actually drop all of these people in the same spot, you can press the big done here. But if you did not drop all of them in the same place, in fact, you drop Mr. Dita and the rest are still in your car, press done only for Mr. Dita. That's exactly what you do. The next passengers are in your car. You now ask, who is dropping the next? Instead of maybe Miss Magubane dropping next, you thought maybe, but instead Miss Darling says, no, my dropping is just near. You can even open up here, and you see the addresses, you see the kilometers. You go back, you come, you open the second person, you see the address, you see, oh, this one is actually 4 kilometers, but the Miss Magubane is what? 6 kilometers. So you know you have to drop Darling first before Magubane. So you tap, it doesn't matter what order they are presented on your phone. Tap on the next person that you have to drop, the nearest. You tap on his card. You are sure who you are dealing with, Miss Darling, and then you navigate to his address. Simple as that. It's going to take you to that address. Once you get there and you have dropped the person at the location, you click back. You shut down.
Let's get started.
You now know you've dropped Miss Darling at his 4 kilometers ride. You go back and don't go and end Miss Magubane. You are ending who? Miss Darling. You close here. You press done. So it doesn't matter what order you are ending the job. You end the job. You drive any one of this person who is the nearest. Now let's see for these 3 passengers that are left here, who is dropping next. I'll say, okay, Ms. Magubane is 6 kilometers from here. Mr. Kalis is 6.5. Okay, fairly enough. Maybe they are dropping on the same place. And Jacko, 5.9. Okay, let's assume Jacko is the closest person you have to drop. But they can also tell you who is the next person dropping where, verbally. Now, I know Jacko is the next person. I tap on Jacko's card and then I go to navigate. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. After you navigate, you find yourself there, you come back to your job card. Oh, God. Okay, you come back to the card of Jacko. Sometimes you can even press here. Okay, no, you can't do anything here. Let me not confuse you. You go back and then you just drop Jacko now. You end Jacko here. So it doesn't matter which order you are ending. Now, just to reiterate about the pricing for this group of people. If all these 4 people or 5 people were going to the same direction, and the person with the furthest address is 250 Rand, that amount will be split across these 5 people. So everybody you have dropped along the way is paying you 50-50 till the last person. That's how this structure works. So once you are done with all your passengers and the last person is done, then you are sorted. You are basically sorted. So that is exactly how you manage multiple booking. And now, the last thing I want to show you, which is also very important in your business with Courtesy Logistics. There's a cancel booking here that got stuck. Let me take it away. Okay. So, just to explain myself again, if your phone rings, you accept the job and you do not see the job display on your screen, you can do 2 things. But the first thing you must do is very simple. Just slide down your screen. Put your mouse in the middle and just put your hand in the middle of your screen and drag it down for the screen to refresh. If it doesn't show the job, then you can go and log out of the job card, the application, and then you can log back in again. So that is exactly how you log into the system. Guys, you must be very, very courageous as you use the system, but I believe you will learn more and you will know more. Thank you very much.